Hi, my name is Jacob George. I grew up in Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Dubai. I did my undergrad at VIT University in India and my master's at Cornell University in the US. This may sound like a job interview, but this video isn't about me, so I'll cut to the chase. This video is about the greatest love story. The greatest love story is about you. Yes, you. God loves you more than anything. No words are enough to describe God's love for you, and it's tough for the mind to understand this in its entirety. But regardless of your circumstances, your past, your struggles, even if you feel like no one loves you, even if you've committed the worst kind of crime, God loves you more than anything. There's a common misconception about God, that God is some kind of a bad teacher that's ready to punish you every time you make a mistake. This relationship is not built upon fear, but rather love. If you love someone, you act out of love and respect. In a relationship, you don't cheat on your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend because you fear them, but rather out of love and respect. I think there are 3 parables in the book of Luke chapter 15 that beautifully conveys God's love. The first one is the parable of the lost sheep. Jesus talks about a shepherd that has 100 sheep and loses one sheep, leaves behind the 99 and chases in search of this one sheep. He talks about God's love for you. Why would a shepherd leave the other 99 for this one sheep? He's got 99. But that's not how God loves. God loves you as if you were the only person on the planet. There's a similar parable, which is the parable of the lost coin. It talks about a woman who has 10 coins, loses one coin, and she diligently sweeps and cleans up the entire house in search of this one coin. And when she finds this one coin, she's overjoyed, invites her friends and celebrates just on finding this one coin. That's how much God loves you. The third parable is the parable of the prodigal son. There's a son who demands that his father gives him his share of the property. The father willingly gives his share of the property. The son squanders all of it and is broke. He has no food and he's alone. He decides to go back to his father and work as a wage laborer for him. At least he'd have food to eat. So the son sets out to return to the father. The father sees the son from a distance, runs towards the son, hugs him, treats him like a king, puts on the finest robes on him, gives him a ring, new sandals, orders for a feast. That's how much God loves you. Not holding back in any way regardless of all that the son had done against the father. His love is unconditional. Even when we stray away from God, God loves us. In the book of Romans chapter 5 verse 8, it says, "But God proves his love for us in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." Maybe that doesn't make sense to you right now, but I assure you in the future it will. When Jesus died on the cross, he died for each and every one of us. You may not believe in him, but he believes in you. The God of the Bible is not one that accepts you only if you meet his conditions and criteria. He's been loving you since the start and will love you until the end. That doesn't mean he accepts what is wrong. At that point, you make that choice, going away from God. But his mercy has no limits. And like the father in the prodigal son story, he's waiting for you longing for his precious child to return. No matter what your faith is like today, God loves you. If you are struggling with sin, persist to overcome, and by God's grace lead a life of holiness. I'm far, far, far away from being perfect. All I'm doing is pointing you to someone who is perfect. If you don't believe at all, keep your heart and mind open. Say a prayer to God. Pursue truth and you will find answers. God's arms are wide open. Just to make things clear, faith in God is not one devoid of rational thinking and is not contrary to science. I hope to address these questions and more in the future. Remember, He loves you unconditionally, even when you're imperfect. That's what makes Him perfect. Until next time.